Right now, as you're watching this, you're consuming information, images, ideas, stories, and you probably don't even think about it. You woke up this morning and consumed breakfast, consumed the news, consumed messages, emails, notifications. But here's something you've probably never stopped to ask. Why does everything consume? Not just you, not just humans, but everything around you. The insects crawling outside your window, the plants growing in your garden, the animals hunting in the wild, even the bacteria living inside your body right now. And if we zoom out far enough, even galaxies themselves consuming other galaxies. So what's going on here? Why is consumption the one thing that connects every living thing on this planet and beyond? Welcome to the insect realm. Right now, trillions of insects are locked in an eternal dance of hunger and survival. Every single one is both hunter and hunted, predator and prey, and they're all asking the same question. Why must everything here feed? The answer is simple: survival. Every insect needs energy, protein, nutrients to grow and reproduce. Those resources aren't free. They have to be taken. The praying mantis is a master of this. It doesn't chase. It waits perfectly still, blending into leaves until prey comes close enough. Then it strikes with surgical precision, faster than you can blink. The dragonfly is different, an aerial acrobat with compound eyes that see in nearly 360 degrees. It calculates trajectories mid-flight, intercepting prey mid-air. And then there's the assassin bug, one of nature's most efficient killers. It pierces its victim with a needle mouth, injects enzymes that liquefy insides, then drinks them like fuel. This isn't cruelty, it's necessity. But not all insects are hunters. Some are nature's cleanup crew. Beetles, maggots, fly larvae, they break down death itself. Carcasses, waste, rotting matter. They transform it all back into nutrients that feed new life. Nothing here is wasted. What dies feeds what lives. What eats today gets eaten tomorrow. It's an endless cycle. But not all insects hunt alone. Ants work in coordinated teams, communicating through chemical signals, carrying food pieces back to their colonies deep in the forest floor. Thousands moving in perfect synchronization, dividing labor, each one playing a role in the collective hunt. In this realm, feeding is energy transfer. Every act moves energy from one organism to another through individual hunters and organized colonies alike. Over millions of years, insects evolved extraordinary strategies, mouthparts shaped like saws, needles, sponges, scissors, whatever accesses food. Enzymes that dissolve, digest, detoxify almost anything. Some became so specialized they can only eat one type of food. Ants farm fungi like we farm crops. Bees stockpile honey. Spiders build webs and wait. When scarcity hits, they innovate, adapt, survive. Here's what this realm teaches us. No creature stands alone. Every insect belongs to an interconnected web of feeding and being fed. What one eats creates opportunity for another. Energy flows, matter cycles, life feeds on life. That's not optional. That's the engine of existence. In nature's grand feast, every predator is also prey. Now let's talk about plants. When you think of a plant, you picture something peaceful, self-sufficient, quietly making its own food through photosynthesis, absorbing sunlight, carbon dioxide, water from the soil. You'd be right, plants do all of that. But here's what most people don't know. That's only part of the story. In some environments, sunlight and soil aren't enough. And when that happens, plants have evolved to do something that might surprise you. They consume flesh. Think about it. There are places on Earth where the soil is so poor, so lacking in nitrogen and phosphorus and other essential nutrients that photosynthesis alone can't sustain a plant. Over millions of years, certain plants evolved a solution. If you can't get nutrients from the ground, get them from prey. Carnivorous plants are patient killers. Take the Venus flytrap. It sits there, jaws open, trigger hairs ready and waiting. When an insect touches one hair, nothing happens. But touch two hairs within 20 seconds and snap those jaws close in less than a tenth of a second. One of the fastest movements in the entire plant kingdom. Then there's the pitcher plant. Completely different strategy. It lures insects with bright colors and sweet nectar, but the inside walls are slick, coated with waxy, downward-pointing hairs. Once an insect slips inside, there's no escape. It drowns in a pool of digestive enzymes, slowly broken down into usable nutrients and sundews. They cover their leaves with sticky, jewel-like droplets that insects mistake for water or nectar. But once they land, they're stuck. The tentacles slowly curl inward, smothering the prey while enzymes dissolve its body. Here's the important part. These plants aren't carnivores like animals are. They still photosynthesize. They still make their own energy from sunlight, but they consume insects for supplements for the nitrogen and minerals their environment can't provide. In the plant realm, consumption is adaptation. When your environment fails you, you evolve to feed on something else. But carnivorous plants aren't the only ones that consume. Some plants have gone even darker. They don't hunt insects, they hunt other plants. Parasitic plants are basically thieves, stealing water, minerals, even sugars. Daughter vine is the ultimate example. It has no leaves, no roots, no chlorophyll at all, just a tangle of orange thread that wraps around other plants and drains them completely. It's a vampire in botanical form, one organism tapping into another's infrastructure, using someone else's flow rather than generating its own. But even plants that seem totally self-sufficient are constantly consuming beneath the surface. Roots absorbing minerals, water, dissolved organic compounds. Many plants form partnerships with fungi, creating vast underground networks called mycorrhizal networks that connect entire forests. Some plants have learned to exploit these networks. There are plants that have abandoned photosynthesis entirely, like the ghost pipe, a pale, ghostly-looking plant with no chlorophyll. It taps into the fungal network and steals nutrients from other plants indirectly, consuming without ever touching its victims. They're hackers breaking into the network, taking what they need. The forest doesn't even notice. So what does the plant realm teach us? It shows us that consumption adapts to scarcity. When resources run thin, organisms find new ways to feed new sources, new strategies. And it reveals that consumption isn't always obvious. No teeth, no drama, just quiet, relentless extraction. If you think about it, we do the same thing in our digital lives. We tap into networks, social media, algorithms, attention economies. We consume content, ideas, validation. Sometimes we're the ones drawing from others' creativity and energy. Sometimes we're the ones being drained. We don't even realize it. The plant realm looks peaceful, still, passive. But beneath the surface, in the soil, in the stems, in the silent chemical exchanges, everything is feeding. Nature's greatest deception is the illusion of stillness. Now we move into the animal realm. This is where consumption becomes much more visible, much more dramatic. Animals, unlike plants, have to actively search for their food. They have to hunt, chase, fight, and risk their lives for every meal. The question is, why do some animals only eat meat while others eat both plants and animals? What does that tell us about survival itself? Well, it turns out that what an animal eats isn't random. It's strategy, a series of trade-offs between risk and reward, between efficiency and flexibility, between specialization and adaptation. Let's start with the carnivores, the specialists of the animal world. Carnivores eat meat almost exclusively, and their entire biology is built around that choice: sharp teeth designed to tear flesh, claws evolved to grip and kill, digestive systems optimized for processing protein and fat. They are efficient killing machines, but that efficiency comes at a serious cost. Hunting is expensive. It burns massive amounts of energy. It risks injury and failure. And here's the thing, it doesn't always work. An eagle chases another bird with incredible speed through the sky, but the hunt succeeds only sometimes. A pack of wolves might chase prey for miles and come away with nothing, exhausted and still hungry. But when it works, when a hunt succeeds, the payoff is enormous. Dense nutrients, high energy, enough fuel to sustain the predator for days. Lionesses chase a zebra with coordinated speed and power, working as a team. And ecologically, carnivores are essential. They regulate prey populations. They prevent overgrazing. They create what scientists call trophic cascades, ripple effects that maintain the balance of entire ecosystems. So carnivores teach us about specialization. When you commit fully to one strategy, you become exceptionally good at it, but you also become completely dependent on it. If the prey disappears, so do you. But not all animals choose to specialize. Some refuse to put all their eggs in one basket. Omnivores eat both plants and animals, and that flexibility is their superpower. A bear will hunt salmon when they're running upstream, But when autumn comes, it switches to berries, roots, grubs, whatever is available. A raccoon will eat frogs, insects, eggs, but also fruit, nuts, and whatever humans throw away. This flexibility is a survival advantage. When one food source disappears, they simply switch to another. But here's the trade-off. Omnivores aren't as efficient as specialists. Their teeth aren't as sharp. Their digestive systems aren't as optimized. They're jacks of all trades, masters of none. Evolution research shows that specialization is the norm. Omnivore is rare. Being a generalist comes with real costs. But in a changing world where food sources fluctuate, where environments shift, that flexibility can mean the difference between survival and extinction. And then there are humans. This is where things get really interesting. We're omnivores by biology. Our ancestors thrived because of that flexibility. But somewhere along the way, we transcended the rules. We stopped being constrained by what was available in our environment. We started engineering consumption itself. We domesticated animals. We cultivated plants. We invented cooking, preservation, refrigeration, transportation. We built global supply chains that can deliver food from one side of the planet to the other. And now we're not just consuming food anymore. We're consuming information, attention, experiences, relationships. We scroll through social media feeds, consuming content, consuming stories, consuming outrage and validation. And just like a predator hunting prey, we're aggressive about it. We're constantly seeking the next hit, the next post, the next notification. And at the same time, we've become prey ourselves. Our attention is being hunted. Our data is being harvested. Our time is being consumed by algorithms specifically designed to keep us feeding. So we've become both the consumer and the consumed. So what does the animal realm teach us about consumption? It shows us that consumption is strategy. Specialization brings mastery, but also vulnerability. Flexibility brings resilience, but also inefficiency. And it reveals something crucial. Consumption shapes identity. A lion is defined by the hunt, a bear by its adaptability. Humans, we're defined by the systems we've built around consumption. And here's the warning. When consumption becomes disconnected from consequence, when we consume without understanding the cost, systems collapse. Ecosystems fail. Because unlike other animals, we have a choice. We can consume mindlessly, endlessly, extracting resources until there's nothing left, or we can consume consciously, aware of what we take, what we give, and what we leave behind. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you consuming, and what might be consuming you? Now let's dive into the realm of microorganisms. You can't see it with your naked eye, but it's absolutely everywhere. This is where consumption becomes truly invisible, yet fundamentally important. Beneath everything we've discussed, insects, plants, animals, exists another world entirely. A world so small we can't see it, but so vast it encompasses everything: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, viruses. They're in the soil, water, air, inside plants, inside animals, inside you right now, and they're all consuming. Right now in your gut, there are trillions of bacteria, more bacterial cells in your body than human cells, and they're all feeding. Microorganisms can be predators, parasites, partners, or recyclers. Sometimes they switch between these roles depending on circumstances. Let's start with parasites. Many microorganisms live inside or on other organisms, extracting nutrients and harming their hosts. Certain fungi infiltrate plant roots. At first they might be neutral, even helpful, but when the plant becomes stressed or weakened, that same fungus shifts modes. It stops being a partner and starts being a parasite, consuming the plant's tissues from within. Bacteria do this too. They slip past immune defenses, attach to cells, and start draining nutrients, turning the host's body into a feeding ground. For the host, this consumption often means disease, decline, sometimes death, and it's all happening invisibly. But not all microbial consumption is destructive. Some microbes consume and give back, creating partnerships that benefit both sides. In your gut, bacteria break down fibers and compounds your digestive system can't handle. In return, they release nutrients you can use. Herbivores like cows depend entirely on this relationship. Without gut bacteria breaking down cellulose, they'd starve surrounded by grass. In the soil, mycorrhizal fungi consume sugars from plant roots, but deliver water, nitrogen, and phosphorus the plants can't access. It's a trade both sides consume. Both sides benefit. But here's the catch. These relationships aren't fixed. When resources become scarce, today's partner can become tomorrow's parasite. And then there are the decomposers, the microbes that consume death itself. When something dies, a leaf, an animal, a tree, bacteria and fungi move in. They dissolve tissues, break down compounds, extract nutrients, and transform what was alive into raw materials for new life. Without decomposers, the world would be buried in corpses. The entire cycle of life would grind to a halt. But even in this invisible realm, there's predation. Microbes consume other microbes. Predatory bacteria hunt smaller cells. Viruses invade and replicate, consuming the host from within. Even at microscopic scales, the ancient law holds: consume or be consumed. So what does the microbial realm teach us? Consumption is everywhere, operating at scales we can't see. And it reveals something profound. Realms are nested one inside another, each with its own network of consumption. You contain entire ecosystems of microbes, and all of it is interconnected. In the digital world, algorithms consume our data, clicks, attention, like gut bacteria. We can't see them working, but they're shaping our experience constantly. Are they partners or parasites? The unsettling truth. We often don't know until it's too late. Now we pull back to the largest scale imaginable, where entire star systems become particles and gravity itself is the ultimate predator. Our Milky Way galaxy has a violent history of consumption, a legacy written in the stars themselves. About 11 billion years ago, our galaxy devoured its largest early meal, a dwarf galaxy called Kraken that contained more than 100 million stars. This ancient feast helped build the foundation of the galaxy we live in today, but Kraken was just the beginning. Fast forward to about 2.7 billion years ago, and the Milky Way consumed another victim in what scientists call the Virgo radial merger. This collision was so recent in cosmic terms that we can still see the wrinkles and ripples it created in our galaxy structure today. The evidence is right there in the data, proof that galactic consumption isn't ancient history, it's an ongoing process. And speaking of ongoing, right now as you watch this, our galaxy is actively devouring the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, slowly tearing it apart and absorbing its stars into our own structure. The Milky Way is a cosmic predator, and it's been feeding for billions of years. But here's where the story gets interesting, because the hunter may be about to become the hunted. The Andromeda Galaxy sits 2.5 million light years away, moving toward us at over 100 kilometers per second. For decades, astronomers believed a collision was inevitable, but recent data suggests there's only about a 50% chance it will actually happen. The Milky Way has spent billions of years consuming smaller galaxies, but now it faces the possibility of being consumed itself by something larger, and that brings us full circle. From a mantis consuming a moth, to a plant draining its host, to bacteria feeding within us, to galaxies devouring each other across billions of years, the pattern is universal. Everything consumes, everything is consumed, and through that endless exchange, the universe evolves and transforms. The question isn't whether consumption happens, it's what you choose to consume and what you allow to consume you, because in every realm, from the microscopic to the cosmic, that choice defines everything. Thanks for watching. These are humble beginnings, and like everything in the realm of consumption, there's always room to evolve. If this resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe to consume more explorations of our interconnected world.